Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is the most disturbing videos on the internet today. Let's dive in.
In this clip, we have someone who noticed something strange going on with the moon. Let's watch.
Alright, the moon is moving in the sky. It's running away from this craft. I don't even know what that is. Look at that. I'm standing still. I'm leaving my camera still. That's the moon moving away. And that thing's chasing it. If I sit still, look, the moon runs away from my camera. I'll put it all the way over here and watch. The moon is running away. It's the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's running away from this craft. It almost seems like it's changing directions, like it's not going straight. Somebody tell me what's going on here. I've never seen this before. The moon is literally running away from that thing.
In this clip, we have someone who noticed something strange going on with.
That's absolutely terrifying. Looking up and you see the moon running away from a spacecraft? That's disturbing.
So this is one of the two Colossi of Memnon. This one and that one. This one, 720 tons on a base of over 200 tons, transported somehow from a quarry in Cairo, which is 200 miles away. The interesting thing about it is the front is much more damaged on the sides and undamaged on the back. So this is a good candidate for an energetic pulse from the sun as the sun rose, striking it with 2,000 degrees Celsius and blowing the surface off. So this is one of...
He said it was some type of solar energy technology. What did he just say? It definitely looks like somebody was trying to damage this statue, though. I guarantee you it was probably, you know, when they first put it there, it was in great condition, but somebody vandalized it. If you're enjoying these videos, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button because we do these videos every single day. And I'd love to see you tomorrow. So let's get straight back into the action.
There's multiple statues that I can show you pictures of that there were single piece statues. So you have the unfinished obelisk in the quarry. That's 1,200 tons. But then you have at least 3 or 4 finished statues that were 1,000 tons, single piece granite. And one of them's in a place called Tanis, which is way up in the north in the Delta. That's more than 1,000 miles from where that stone came from. And then moving that thing, I mean, it was around 1,000 tons finished, single piece granite. So moving it, you may be at 1,500 tons or more. Like there's multiple statues.
So the question remains, how did they move these giant statues back in the ancient days of Egypt?
Under the pyramids of Giza, that 1,000-meter structure of these pillars. Well, apparently, people have now gone down to the bottom of it, and they filmed what's down there. Apparently, this is what's at the bottom of these pyramids. This looks really advanced to be at the bottom of all of this.
We'll watch.
Or is this what's going on? At the bottom, 1,000 meters down. This is more. What is all this? Is that Buddha? In celebration of this discovery, they had a rave party at the pyramids.
Whoa.
So they could celebrate this new discovery. You know, they're not waking up Pharaoh. They're not waking up the dead. We're all here.
No, they're raising the roof.
We're all here to celebrate together.
You guys tell me, was that AI or did they really go up under the pyramids and see all those copper wires? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
This video was uploaded to YouTube in 2012 by a lady who wishes to remain anonymous for obvious reasons. In the video, a woman is filming a sunset near a forest. Nothing happens in the first few seconds of the video, but this soon changes though when the woman hears a strange and terrifying sound. This is what she captures.
I'm scared.
I like how he just pops up out of you know, what's going on here? And look, she makes sure she got the camera shot. Did she just run into a werewolf?
I have to ask, aliens, UFOs that you can't explain, like, have you ever encountered in all the years, because you've been flying a lot.
Yeah.
And as you know, in the last couple of years, there's been a load of things that have come out of footage from, you know, military aircraft, civilian aircraft, just with technology and cameras and everything being what they are. Like, have you ever come across anything? Like, dude, what do you
and so, first of all, I'll say, I was one of those guys that sort of, you know, listened to those Navy pilots talk about aliens and stuff and be like,
this fucking
man, you're giving us bad name, you know? But it was just a couple of years before I retired. I was flying a day air-to-air training mission with my wingman over the Gulf of Mexico. So we took off out of New Orleans, and we were just doing 1v1 dogfighting, and good weather, daytime, and I'm pulling up. I'm looking up, probably, you know, 1 or 2 o'clock out of the canopy at my wingman, who's pointed back towards my 6 o'clock, and I see something go right by the canopy, right? And instinctively I duck, thinking it's a bird or something, but I realize I'm way too high for a bird. So then my logical brain says, okay, this is a glare off the canopy or something. So I'm gonna keep fighting. My wingman says, "Did you just see that?" I'm like, "I saw something." So he called it knock it off, and a knock it off means the fight's over. And he goes, "I'm gonna chase it." And I was like, okay. So he goes back. I turn around. We have our radars out. We have we have training missiles that are infrared scanning. Can't find it. We circled the whole area. Could not find anything. And so now I'm convinced, like, it's a weather balloon or something, right? We go back to base and we're debriefing it, and I'm trying to debunk it the whole time. And we get the models out, and we're okay, if we're like this and we're moving this fast and something's, you know. And he's like, "Dude, this thing went by your jet, turned and followed you." And I was like, "Wait, what?" Like, I didn't know that part.
So is that on radar?
No, that was just with his eyes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys have the equivalent of dash cams?
We do. We don't always turn them on. In fact, 9 times out of 10 in the reserves, we wouldn't turn them on because it's just one more thing for us to carry and forget. So, yeah. But yeah, so we were talking about it, and a guy in the squadron said, "Hey, you know, one of my buddies works for ONI, and they're trying to stand up this big thing at the Pentagon for trying to figure out what these things are. There's a whole form you fill out." We're really okay. So we go into the classified, we go to the skiff and get the form, fill it out, fill out all the information, send it off, thinking, like, I'm never going to hear from this again. The next day, we got a call from a guy at the Pentagon that was, like, heading up this whole UAP program, and he's like, "I want to give your squadron a classified brief." And we're like, "Really?" Like, my skipper came to me and said, "Dude, if I see little green men in this brief, I'm gonna be so excited." But yeah, I mean, bottom line is they're trying to, they don't know what it is, and they're trying to demystify it so that people aren't embarrassed about reporting it, because you know, we're the military. We need to be reporting this stuff. We need to find out what it is.
But I have to ask, aliens.
Man, I believe they got a couple of them captured, and they just won't show us.
And I look, there's this giant valley between us, and then there's a ridge, and across from us, it's a little bit higher than us. And at the top of the ridge is this one big giant tree, and it's a big old tree. And I'm sitting there, man, and I'm looking up at that tree. It's just beautiful mountains. And so while they're praying, I'm just kind of doing the Louis Engle. I'm rocking back and forth, and they're praying for me. And then, man, I look back at that tree, and something is just coming up and standing next to that tree. And I see it come up. And at first I thought somehow it was a tree that was falling over, that it was falling over towards me somehow because it rose. And I just, in my mind, I was trying to figure out how it worked. And I just thought, whoa, man, that's something going to fall off that cliff up there. But it stopped and it froze and it was erect right next to the tree. And as they're praying for me, man, when the tree would move, it would move. And I was like, that ain't the wind blowing that tree. And then I saw these arms come down beside it and he goes like this and he puts his arms back and it still kind of looks like a tree.
Whoa.
But I'm like, that ain't a tree. And then the more I sit there and looked at it while these guys are praying for me, so I'm like 5 minutes goes by, 10 minutes goes by, and I'm thinking, and I'm praying in the spirit, and I'm thinking about this thing. Lord, what am I looking at? What is this? And he said, he's spying out your prayer. I'm like, he is spying out his prayer. And I'm like, somehow that thing can see us praying over here, and that thing can hear what it is that we're saying. And I was just sitting there and I thought, I want to test this out. And I'm staring at this thing. Now I've got a good beat on it. And I mean, I'm really getting details out of it now. Even though it's pretty far away, I'm getting good details out of it and all this. And I said, I know you can hear me, you devil. And I just said it in that tone of voice. And when I did, he put his arms out like this and he started rocking back and forth. Like, whoa.
Like you were challenging him.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, it was just rocking back and forth, like bowing up. And I told my son, I said, Ben, he said, what? And I said, turn around and tell me what you see up there. And Ben turned around and he was staring. Ben's 34 now, and he was staring. And he's so chill, man. He just pulls out a chair and he sits down and goes, a freaking giant. And I look.
What an amazing story. You just see a giant rocking next to you. What are you going to do?
So when you look at all the crowns of the royals, they always have, like you said, the different gems, different stones on top of their head, whether it's emerald or whether it's amethyst, whether it's lapis, malachite.
And I look.
So when you look at all the crowns of the royals, they always have, like you said, the different gems, different stones on top of their head, whether it's emerald or whether it's amethyst, whether it's lapis, malachite, all these different stones. So maybe somebody's in tune to something because they're always wearing these things. And what I've started to realize is those crowns are antennas. I mean, anytime a person is wearing, for example, even just a hat that has, different spikes on top of it, it's a crown. And it's picking up on all the frequency. Purple, which is really common with the royals, and a lot of amethyst. So they put amethyst on the stone, which represents the crown chakra on top of the head. And so your chakra, so people are aware, is just a vortex. And if people have multiple vortexes on their head, they have it's colics. They have a little colic and they say the colic and that's what put that there. But those are vortices. And you have all these different vortices coming out of your body that go up and down. And so what happens is when they're placing these crowns on top of their head, they're enhancing those vortices and basically enhancing their ability to see things. So if you get into like the sixth sense, if you get into remote viewing, if you get into psychic abilities, crowns are interconnected with that. Same with sound as well, the binaural beats. And the most common one is gold. You always see a gold crown. So when you look at all the crowns of the royals,
Crown acts as an antenna. Interesting.
The most beautiful scenes in the chapel are surely those of the sacred boats of Amun-Ra, Khonsu, and Mut. King Seti I is depicted, presenting a great pile of offerings and burning incense in front of the boat of Amun-Ra. He uses his thumb and forefinger to flip pellets of incense into the fire pot of the censer. The most beautiful scenes in the chapel are...
I wish I knew how to read hieroglyphics. I mean, how cool is this? What UFO is this? A disc? That's absolutely beautiful. I wonder where this is. Why he's down there yelling Creed.
Before the flood came, they were giant beings. Some stood so big, their heads reached the sky. But when they turned around, they got petrified. They got reset. Their time was up. A new civilization to live under this firmament. You can see their faces on the side of cliffs. Their eyes, ears, noses and lips. The rocks once lived a few resets ago. Our frequencies got changed all the way down to low. See with your mind, not just your eyes. Realize, realize, realize. If you do, the truth won't be in disguise. The truth is here. Before the flood came, there were giant beings.
Have you ever seen that movie Trolls? Yeah, that reminds me of it. They're just inside these giant mountains, trapped.
If the legend that a tribe found a glowing ghost and killed it in this cave are true, can you please turn the flashlight on? Trying to go on. Thank you. Thank you for Agreed. Thank you for turning on the flashlight. If the legend that a tribe found a glowing...
What is he got, a Bluetooth flashlight? What is going on here? And he's talking to a spirit bikes inside that cave. What's the story about this cave?
The Devil's Cave is a place that for 200 years has been the creator of the most terrifying legends of Mazatlan. There are those who assure that there has been people that out of curiosity have gone into the cave and have never been seen again. Others say that this is where the pirates hid their treasures. Another legend says that this is where the devil was released, and some have even heard him. What is the truth behind these legends? Stay with me and I'll share the story behind this mystical cave. It is said that at the beginning of the 19th century, people used to take horseback rides by Olas Altas, and they assured that the pass was very short since the skirts of Cerro de la Nevería hill reached the sea. That is how it was until Johann George Clausen, who was the president of the Mazatlan Board of Material Improvements, proposed to make a path between the cliffs of the skirt of Cerro de la Nevería until Ignacio Zaragoza Street. Taking advantage of his position, his proposal got approved. The recognition of this project was baptized in the name of Johann Clausen, what today is known as Paseo Clausen. So it was that with the project of opening a path, the cave emerged as a sequel of a technique used to dynamite the rock, leaving a 7-meter hole. Over time, this cave has become very famous with tourists and local for its legends. The truth is, it remains as a memory of the great work that Johann Clausen did. Today, the cave has a gate to delimit the passage. Unfortunately, people have used it as a garbage dispense, and the truth is that the smell is not very pleasant. Do you believe that the horrifying legends are true? Would you dare to come and visit this cave? Thank you for watching this video. See you next time.
I wonder what it smells like.
Radiation from this piece of uranium, for instance, enters the jar. The air inside is broken up into charged fragments, some of which neutralize the charge on the leaves and cause them to fall. And the stronger the radiation, the faster they fall.
What is this, a schoolroom? Where is the mystery?
Well, the mystery is that when a charged electroscope was put aside, when no known radiation was around, the gold leaves mysteriously lost their charge and collapsed anyway.
Imagine the charged electroscope as a kind of bank, and the known radiations as thieves, bank robbers. Yeah, there you are. Depositors putting their hard-earned electrons into savings accounts. Wait a minute. That's no depositor there. That's Miss Ultraviolet Ray. She's one of the slyest of our robbers. The electrons right off your back.
Drop off and have a jolt sometime.
There's a distant cousin of Violet's over there, Gamma Ray. Ordinary walls don't mean a thing to him. Wow, here comes a real tough bunch in from the hideout. The Uranium Gang. Those hombres have been in and out of the calaboose so often they go by numbers. 234, 235, and 238. I hope 235's not carrying what I think he is. You know, those boys are the atom bomb boys.
Help! 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 Sheriff! Robbery! Help! They went that away!
Put on more guards! This thievery has got to stop! Rebuild the bank! Put lead walls around it, 9 feet thick!
So with 9 feet around it, the electroscope bank became the Fort Knox of science. Not one of our robbers was sly enough like Ultraviolet.
Thank you.
Or persistent enough like Gold Gamma.
Thank you.
Or powerful enough like the Numbers boys to break in.
No more breaking into my bank.
Help!
Hey, wait a minute. What's wrong now?
Mr. President, another robbery!
Brother, somebody has broken in.
Must be a phantom bandit. A phantom bandit? Get the town marshal, get the army, the navy, call out the marines. He must be caught.
I love the old school methods of how they used to teach back in the day, especially using those cartoons. I learned a couple things. I did see a shadow at one time when it was hovering over the trees. Not quite sure what this is. I kind of saw a witch's face a little bit.
A TikTok account by the name of El Domador de Sumisas captures something really strange on top of a mountain in Mexico. What looks like a giant humanoid being moving on top of a mountain. This thing has to be at least 2 to 3 meters tall. If you take a look at the mountain and the trucks passing by as a reference for size, he captured 2 videos I'm going to show you guys. This is the first video. this video was uploaded, internet users were baffled, but at the same time they weren't much convinced about it because it's not moving much. But then, El Domador de Sumisas uploaded another video, a complete video, and in this second video you can see the creature crouching, walking just like any human being would. The only difference is this thing is huge. It has to be around 2 to 3 meters tall if you pay attention to the trucks, cars, and the mountain as a reference for size. This is the video. Pay very much attention. Whatever this is going on here, it's I don't know, what the heck? Take a look at this.
Yo veo un gigante ahí arriba. ¿Qué será? Se mueve, se mueve.
Pay close attention, it's gonna start walking now. What the heck is going on here?
If it is a giant, what exactly is it doing up there? It looked like it just was looking around, bending over, stretching. Is this mountain a giant hologram, or at least parts of it? And that's the entrance to a secret base, just like how they get into Wakanda.
Use pastes and gels and liquids, and you could see that whenever you get this invisible wave of sound, it will immediately structure the physical matter. It's the waves that actually construct the form of the human physical body that give it its form. And so with the sonic waves, this can be taken very, very far, but it shows people visually, in a very immediate way, change the sound vibration in an invisible wave, and it will immediately change the physical structure of what's being impacted by the wave. It shows people visually how invisible waves actually create all form and all energy patterns. Then you've got the aspect where once they discovered what these different vibrational sounds do in creating these structures, as I mentioned, a British osteopath named Dr. Peter Guy Manners in the mid-1900s created a system at his clinic outside of London where he could apply complex sound codes. And one of the fascinating things about the cymotherapy sound codes is he found that his goal was to be able to restore the core resonant frequency in the organs of the body, connective tissues, energy field, everything. And so what he found is that using just one sound alone was not sufficient. 2 was not sufficient. 3 was not sufficient. 4 was not sufficient. It required a combination of 5 precise sound frequencies together in a set to be able to fully restore the resonance. He would use pastes and gels.
Sounds like if you listen to the right music, something good will happen. If you made it this far, go ahead and drop Monday Vibes in the comments below. It lets me know that you're a real one. You made it all the way through, and I just want to say thank you. This was the most disturbing videos on the internet today. See you tomorrow.